business project I had to go to, and while I was there, they introduced this new idea called the 1K House Project. So I'm going to give you a presentation on it. And what it is they're trying to build houses for the homeless and less fortunate for as low a price as possible. My goal is $1,000. So poverty, it's obviously a world pandemic here. In today's world, there's 1.5 billion people who live on less than $1 a day, and 60% of those people are in rural areas, which makes it hard for infrastructure and people to reach them. And the four main places I'm going to talk about are China, India, Africa, and Latin America. Those are the four main ones, even though poverty is obviously very widespread beyond that. And for China, there's a big movement from the rural areas to the urban areas looking for work. And the Hmong Lu, or something like that, is it's called blindly migrating people, because they're just wandering from place to place looking for jobs or anything like that. And a lot of them are also children. And according to the International Youth and the International Child and Youth Protection Agency, there's up to 600,000 people that could be in China living on the streets as children alone. And also natural disasters in China are a big deal, like flooding of the rivers and stuff. They kill a lot of people. And also for the Olympics in 2008, they actually destroyed some of the poor housing to make room for the new Olympic structures. For India, there's people called pavement dwellers, which are the lower class people. And in India, they have a caste system, which is something that's been around for thousands of years. And the pavement dwellers are the lowest class. But you can't there's no movement in the class system, the untouchables. And they basically just live on the streets like you see here. And it's not very good conditions, obviously. And then also in India, there's a large discrepancy in the housing, the way they report the homeless. Some people just go on the number of houses with the number of people, but those don't include people that share homes, families that share them, or such things as people that their homes get demolished for buildings. And if you include those statistics, there could be up to 110 million people in India who live on the streets. And then up top is a picture of Mumbai, which is one of the largest cities in India. And it's over half the population, which is 12 million people, live in just about 3,000 slum neighborhoods, which is about 4,000 people per tiny little area. That's according to UNESCO, which is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization. For Africa, Darfur, genocide, people are killing everyone, which is parents are dying of AIDS, which makes the kids homeless at very young ages, which means they have a lifetime of poverty and homeless they have to try to overcome. And according to Homeless International, there's as many as 70% of Africa could be living in slums or in impoverished areas. And then similar to the World Cup, the Olympics with China, in 2010, the World Cup in South Africa, they're actually pushing the homeless off the streets to try to hide the problem when people come in to see the event. And then another main thing with Africa is the tribal living. There's poor infrastructure and poor access, so they don't have easy resources to try and get proper housing. In Latin America, in Mexico, 60% of the housing is self-produced or low quality, so it's obviously not up to standards for livable habitats. Now, the earthquake in Haiti, obviously, a big part of the reason so many people died, 1.5 million, was because of the poor housing and the lack of steady structure. And according to UNICEF, it was 40 million street children that live in Latin America alone. And so this is the problem MIT is trying to address. Many of you, I'm not sure if you're familiar with MIT's $100 laptop project, which looks at trying to educate people and the homeless or underfunded children. And so Tony Cicchetti is the director of real estate teaching at the School of Architecture to try to do this project. In the 1K house, they're trying to stress for affordability, livability, and sustainability. And they're trying to get housing for regions with, obviously, like I said, low resources and infrastructure. Right now, they have ideas in China, the Philippines, and Cambridge, Massachusetts, just like the home base. They're trying to expand into India, Africa, and Central America. And they're trying to have the prototypes built by commencement this year, which is June 4th. The design, they're dependent on each region, like China regions are not the same as Africa regions, because of the weather and stuff like that. There's 13 total prototypes. 3 of them, the Drunken House, Recycled Materials House, and Pinwheel House, I'll talk about. Drunken House has got a tilted shape, and it helps for sun exposure for polar climates, and rain drain off, and it's also disaster ready, so that it's easy to assemble in case something like Haiti happens again. The Recycled Material House is made out of glass bottles. So it uses fly ash residue instead of cement to lower greenhouse gases, and concrete is also very sustainable. The Pinwheel House is the cheapest at $1,800. You can interchange the parts and areas so that you can form communities with it. And it also, like for the China one, it's made out of bamboo, and it also forms a courtyard, which is a traditional Chinese style of living. So in conclusion, as of 2003, the UN reported almost 1 billion people live in health-threatening environments, which is 31.6% of the population. Obviously, global poverty is a big problem, and so this is what MIT's goal is to try to fix it. So I hope this brought more awareness to the homeless problem and the solution that MIT is trying to produce.